Hey everybody, and welcome back to another awesome day in the market. It's just a bit of cooling today, a bit of consolidation. And of course, we've got some drama over in the Middle East as well. We're going to get into all that. Let's say hello to a few people though. We've got hello to everybody. How are you today? Very good, Lies. Hope you're doing well yourself. And of course, dropping the old alpha strategy there. Hex Pulsechain is in for the win, 100%. We've got a few little things to talk about that, in particular from Richard Hart himself. So you're going to hear from Richard Hart. It's going to be pretty cool on Pulsechain. Wookie got himself a front row spot. You did indeed. Nice and early there, Wookie. Good to see you in the morning. And, of course, actually, what did we just hit? Midday here in good old New Zealand at the bottom of the world. And, of course, we're a day ahead of everybody, right? So it's Wednesday. It's second here. Who else do we got? DJ and Hexkin in house there. Good morning to you. We got Breaking Bad. Oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. We got a couple of things down in Australia and New Zealand around the oi, oi. So good to see you as well. All right, without further ado, let's get straight into it. We've got a lot of wrap up. We're going to get, obviously, into the stock market quickly. Then we're going to jump into crypto, and then we're going to get into meme coins. Then we're going to get into Pulsechain, and then we're going to get, of course, into TitanX, and then finally wrap up with XenCat and XenCat. How does that sound? Sounds pretty good to me. So that's 5 topics today. I wish I had one of those topic things which we moved through on the screen. I've still got to try and work out how to do that. But let's get into it without further ado. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Share the channel around. If you're really enjoying the daily market content on the things that you love, then share the channel around. It really does help either on X or any other platform that you want to share it around. All right, let's go. And, of course, the stock market there, S&P 500 closes lower, I should say, as rising Middle East tensions weigh. And, of course, we've got the Dow Jones there down 0.4%, 173 points to 42,156. We've got the S&P 500 down a 0.9%. 54 points to 5,708, and we got the Nasdaq there down 278 points. That's down 1.5%. So it's a pretty decent correction there on the Nasdaq. Remember, the Nasdaq has all the tech companies on it, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. US dollar is up on that, I guess, risky Middle East stuff, and it is up 0.4%, up to 100.94 in the US dollar versus its trading partners. Let's go to commodities. Have a quick look at that. Yeah, oil's up slightly, $70.86 for West Texas, and that is up about 0.2%. We've got Brent oil only up slightly at $74.46. Gold is only pretty much sideways. It's down slightly, $2,683 on gold, and silver there $31.66, down very slightly as well. So that's pretty much on the commodities. Obviously, the big news there was around Iran launching ballistic missiles at Israel. And, of course, that's pretty much that. There also has been some people in I think it's Tel Aviv. There's been some terrorists there shooting people in the bus stops and things like that. It's pretty horrible stuff, obviously. Yeah, that's kind of stuff happening there as well. So that's kind of it. And, of course, that was after, of course, Israel wiped out pretty much the whole leadership of the Hezbollah, the terrorist leadership. So there we go. And there's a bit of a ground invasion going on as well into Lebanon. There we are, southern Lebanon at least. Now we got stuff around the interest rates as well. Jerome Powell there obviously reined in expectations of another hefty rate cut. He said that the committee's not in it's not in a hurry to cut rates quickly. So obviously we're expecting somewhere between 25 and 50 basis points in November. So we already had 50 basis points. So the federal fund rate's 5% at the moment, but we've got somewhere between 25 and 50. So maybe we'll get a 25 for the November meeting. That's 2 days after the US election, right? So we shall see. Let's quickly look at, I think that was it on the news. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that was it on that. So let's go quickly look at the Fed rate monitor and see what the community, market's thinking about interest rate cuts. Let's have a quick look at that. And we got 5 weeks and 2 days to go until the Fed meetings. Are still quite a long time. We've obviously got October in between that. We've got 2/3 of the market expecting only a 25 basis point cut. So there we go. That is where we are at the moment. And on December, currently the majority's expecting maybe another 50 basis points there, down to 4.25, which is not too bad. Not too bad. All right, so that is where we are on that. Let's jump over. Actually, we got the economic news coming out, haven't we, this week? Let's quickly look at the economic calendar before we move on to crypto. Let's see here. So this week we've got Let's see here. We got Wednesday. We got the non-farm payroll. We got the initial jobless claims on Thursday. So the results for today we've been reading out of Tuesday, right? So Tuesday results, the stock market. So we've got ADP non-farm payroll. We've got initial jobless claims. We've got a bit of manufacturing, and we've got the non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate on Friday. So some pretty key data there coming in on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for employment. Remember that the Fed's trying to trade off, inflation for trade off employment for inflation. So we'll see how those numbers match up there. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's jump into crypto. Obviously, we're on a pullback here. So Bitcoin down 4.2%, a pretty big move for Bitcoin, $60,814 where we are. Bitcoin dominance is just below 55%. Obviously, we're looking for that to pivot when we get into altcoin season. And of course, we've got October. We just started October. But of course, we had the conflict in the Middle East. I guess that's dampened the start after having a very good September, which is normally Rick September. It was actually pretty good. Or it must have been about 8% up or something like that on the month for Bitcoin. And Ethereum there is down 5.5%, 2,454. So the cool thing about this is that you can get, obviously, if you're coming from fiat, you can get Ethereum, more Ethereum. If you're coming into TitanX or something like that, or any of the projects, you can get more TitanX or whatever. So there's obviously opportunity there. Solana is down 5.8% at $145. XRP and Tron are down at 3%, 2% respectively. ADA is down 6% there. So a bit of correction going on in the market, and Litecoin down 5% as well. So there we go. All the ones in dark red are over 5% basically. Decrease there, and BNB is down 3.7% at 548. Quickly looking at the longer term chart for Bitcoin. Obviously, we're having a beautiful rally in September, oddly enough. And then, of course, we've pulled back here as we've transitioned out of September this day here into the first day of October. And we've got a red candle, 2 red candles here. Now, the other thing is, of course, we avoided back here. See, there's 2 lines. We've got the yellow lines for 50-day and the blue lines are 200-day. We avoided that death cross. So now we're tempting fate again into October, funny enough. So, let's see where we go in the next day or two with the old October theme. And, of course, we're expecting potentially the rally. But, of course, we'll see how far this escalates in the Middle East, right? So we might find that Iran is going to have Israel's going to be attacking Iran with probably some pretty severe stuff after they did the ballistic missile fights. And so they could end up taking out key infrastructure in Iran. Remember, Iran does have Russian 300s, or was it air defense? So we'll see how that holds up. It hasn't held up very well before. So we'll see how we go. I don't believe they got the 400 series, so it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. All right, so that's October at the moment, and of course the US election coming in on the 5th of November. So that is where we are at the moment on the markets. Let's go to the meme coins. Now, obviously, meme coins are leverage play on those major cryptos. We got Dogecoin at the moment, 15.6 billion. It's actually pretty good for the week, only down 1.6% for the week, but down 9% today. So that pretty much it was up before, or 7% now. So there we go. So that's going to move around a little bit, but not too bad for Dogecoin at the moment. We've got Shibas. They're up for the week, these leaders, but down for today. So Bonk's still holding up pretty well, up 25% there. Let's have a look. Some of these other ones are down. Popcat, Brett on base chain. Mockcoin still up 16% or 10% for the week. It's moved around quite a bit. Some of these other ones are down as well. Now, Dogs is the one that we've been following. Dogs on Runes on Bitcoin, #1 meme coin in the world on Bitcoin. And of course, the first bull market season is still up 28%, down 2% today. So it's actually doing pretty well amongst the leaders, right? Only Mockcoin is showing some similar grit, as it were. And of course, you guys know we're waiting for tier 1 exchanges. We know Leonidas is in conversations with several tier 1s, and pretty much out of, I think, this whole list, it is the only one that doesn't have tier 1. So once it gets it, it's going moon time, and it's already had a nice rally off the bottom. So it's currently at 3600 of a penny. So a nice little pickup zone to pick up the old dog there as well. If you're looking for the big 100x type things, those are what we want to consider. Now, if you want to find out more information, of course, get into our strategy club. The link's in the video description. Maybe Wookie will post his link in the chat there, and you can join up to that. Only $35 a month. Very, very good value. And we look at multi-chain opportunities with the big upsides and trying to get the most out of this bull market ahead. So, and join our community. We really do have a great bunch of people in there. and that really care about each other, and very smart people, and of course making mad gains. That's the thing. So get in there on Strategy Club. Links in the video description. All right, let's jump over to Pulsechain next, I guess. But before we do that, let's say hello to a few people. So we're getting into our third topic, which is Pulsechain, Pulse gains, and we're going to talk about Hex price and the bull run. Let's do that. But who else has jumped in here? Let's find out. We got MVS in house there. Morning, MVS. Hope you're doing well. We got Cult DeFi. How is it going on? I think Cult DeFi, weren't you on a live stream? I think you might have finished that up, obviously. Big shout out to Cult DeFi, doing an absolutely amazing job covering that on the whole ecosystem of Jacob's ecosystem coming up. So if you like the best of GameFi in the world, I'm not kidding you, in the world, then you want to follow Jacob's ecosystem. Of course, we have been a big supporter of Jacob for a long time, knowing his brilliance and also his ethics, right? His ethics have been pretty good. So kind of cool. We got Tin Top in house there. What's Hexicans? Well, we've got the Hex price and the bull run topic now. So you come just at the right time to the top. We got Jay Everything in house there. Woohoo! Hey, that's been a while since we've done that, eh? Good to see you, Jay. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, and that is you've got the J. You forgot the J Wookie when you copied. Join the Strategy Club today, and with the Wookie's amazing link. There we are, joining up. Very good value, $35 a month. Very good value for that. All right, so jump in there and become one of the cool members. We get Intel updates all day. So as we're researching stuff, we post stuff in there, opportunities. I don't put all the opportunities in there because some of the things I do look at are pretty risky as well. When you're looking around the crypto, you guys know what it's like. But definitely we put the things that we think are going to be probable wins there. So kind of cool. All right, nice one there, Wookie. All right, let's get into back to the Pulsechain. And we got day 508. And of course, we got the price here. It's not quite finished, right? Because I'm starting earlier now. So there's still about 48 minutes to go to the end of the day. But it's really more or less the end of the day. We got Pulse price there, quadruple zero at 524, down 1.3% for day 508. Still sitting at just above 50% of the mean sacrifice price there. So still a lot of upside for the old Pulsechain. And you got to remember Richard's post, right, about doubling double Pulsechain. And you could end up, getting X's on all the other coins on Pulsechain, right? You double the value of the chain there, essentially. So pretty awesome. We got Pulsex at the moment, quadruple 0301, down 1.12%. Now we're going to talk about that in particular. In fact, we're going to talk about that in a second. But before we do, we're just going through the summary. So we're sitting at 30% of the mean sacrifice price. So still huge potential upside from there. And of course, the buy and burn has gone over 1 trillion, and it's now at 1,010 billion. With 5.01% of the public supply has been bought up and burned. Now, that's very key, bought up and burned. Now, the other thing is we've been having really great volumes through Pulsechain. Off the bottom, we're at 5 to 7 million, and now we've been up between 25 and 45 million. We're going to see what that is today, but that's been really good sign of things to come. Also, total value locked earlier today surpassed the ton chain, the big Telegram one, and so Pulsechain showing some strength there in its early days. You guys know Magic Cup ride on Pulsechain, right? It's going to be awesome. And XenCat token there, $2.64 is down 2.3% at the moment, and we're going to move to Hex. Hex is at 1.35 cents, up 1.7%. So we've got green candles again on Hex. Hex price looking good, and EHEX there at 0.3 of a penny. Combined price EHEX and PX is 1.65 cents. So it's had a big rally, right, over 4x, and it is holding up like a boss. It is holding up like a boss. Very good. This is what you want to see for the next move, parabolic move. This is looking exciting. So good stuff happening there with the old Pulsechain. In fact, I might just go through some of the other stuff, the gas prices and that. We're pretty low on the gas beats there, 150,000, 0.3 for a Pulsex swap there. Still 1,900 times cheaper than Ethereum, with Ethereum Gwei at 6 Gwei. And let's go to the Velas. 48,684 Velas. So it's still world, we're full system stake fork of Ethereum and fully DeFi. So that's the wonderful thing. And it's really a community driven chain. And you got to remember, with Pulsechain's got one of the biggest dedicated influencers out there. I think somewhere between, let's say, 100 and 150 influencers out there. Many of them have come back, obviously green candles, and are starting to promote again. So things are really just starting to ramp up there. You guys are here at the right time. So kind of cool. Total bridged amount, 113.1 million. So I think we're down a little bit from yesterday. I think we were 113.4 or 8, something like that. So we might be down between 4 and 8, maybe 3 and $700,000. So not too bad there as well. And obviously ETH has come down, and wrap Bitcoin as well. So otherwise Hex is holding up very well there. And the DAI stables are looking very good. In fact, they look like they've increased there to 33 million. So not bad there with the old chain. So that's day 508. Obviously, we're going to be starting day 509. But let's just zoom in to some of the charts here. We're going to go to Pulse first. Obviously, Pulse is the bellwether, the fee coin for Pulsechain. And we can see that we've actually come up to, funnily enough, the 200 moving average. Can you believe it? And we've gone kind of chilled out there, right? Chilled out there. And yeah, so interesting stuff. Now, the other big thing is that we've got the 50-day moving average in yellow. Look how it's turned up. See how we're in such a mega downtrend, right? Mega downtrend. And look at this. It's going to cross over. So as soon as we cross that, that is hyper bullish, right? I mean, we've got potentially a big parabolic coming in the future for that. So this still very bullish on the months ahead for the bull market and take off. And we covered that in full yesterday. If you haven't seen yesterday's channel, we did cover all the different charts and indicators for the bull market starting. Now, obviously, we've still got geopolitical risks in the world, so that still impacts markets. But at the moment, it's looking still very good for crypto. And yeah, that's where we are. Now, we've got obviously Richard Hart's court case. Well, it's actually not just Richard Hart, right? It's also against Pulsechain, Pulsex, and Hex for some reason. These people at the SEC, they're really just a clown show. So let's go over to that. We've got 29 days to go till that court case. Remember, Richard Hart's got a dream team of lawyers. The SEC's case has definitely been getting weaker, losing certain court cases in the courts. So that's going to definitely favor the outcome. Plus, it's written pretty badly. I don't know, some of the cases there for the SEC have written as pretty bad. But anyway, you just have to be, a fairly decent writer to see that it's pretty poor. So, and the arguments as well. So there we are. We're going to see how that goes. That is where we are at the moment. Now, the RSI is chill down 68. So we've just moved out of overbought territory. This RSI has been very useful. And it's, we've been able to make good calls with the chart. So we talked about this last couple of days, pretty much being in consolidation there. Now, obviously, we could get some God mode candle, but nevertheless, it's up to overbought. The rest of the market's there, and so they chill out. Now, let's have a look at the 4 hourly to see what the traders might be thinking. Well, it's come back to the 50, and so we can definitely start to move up from here, right? Probably zigzag a bit more, maybe go up to the top of the range, which is 5,600. We're currently down at 5,200, so definitely could zigzag up here into a little consolidation zone and start moving up. So kind of cool. And you guys know on the weekly, we've got a lot of room there, right? So at 47. So good times ahead here for Pulsechain. Now, Pulsex is something I want to talk about here. So just to quickly go through the chart, we're at 3,000. So very important psychological level. Let's go full mode there. You can see the RSI on the daily 68. So just come off overboard as well. Obviously, after a huge rally on Pulsechain. But you can actually see we're coming down to what was previously resistance back in July is now support. And that is sitting at 3,000. So we've got 3,000 on the horizontal, 3,000 as a good round number. And we peaked out at 3,300 pretty much. The next target, of course, is somewhere between 3,800 and 4,300, right? So that's kind of the next target there. Maybe with a little bit of resistance at 34, but not much. So I think that's kind of our next target. So between 38 and 44 on the horizontal. Obviously, we're pretty hot still on the RSI, so need to probably cool off a little bit there as well. Now, I haven't got the 250-day on this chart, but you can already see on the shorter time frames, the 13 to 34, we definitely had a nice little bullish cross there, and we're well above this kind of long-term angular support that we did breach for a little bit there. So that's pretty much it. But I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that Richard posted here. So he goes, this is out today. GoPulse.com shows that over 1 trillion Pulsex has been burnt. We talked about that. There's just not that much Pulsex available for sale on Pulsex. This is a pretty interesting comment, right? There's not even 2 trillion total across all the peers. Even if you had $100 million of DAI, you'd only get 0.3 trillion Pulsex. You could split the DAI on the Ethereum side into Ethereum, USDT, or USDC to get more Pulse more efficiently to swap the Pulsex, or for an INC to Pulsex. Autorata already plans that, and you'd get more. But still, there's just not much Pulsex for sale in the AMM compared to how much is shown and burnt. Remember that in Pulsex, the prices move as a square function. So every time you double one pair of a side, you have the other side making a 4x price move. So if you want to reduce the Pulsex available in the AMM by 10x, then you have to 10x the other side. and that in isolation would be a 100x price move. Not advised to you on research, of course. Check the chain and math yourself. Anyway, most of the liquidity in a well-functioning market isn't sitting in an order book usually. For instance, what percentage of total houses are for sale at any given moment, and what percentage of total money is sitting in bids? Math is fun. TLDR, I'm surprised at how much the buy and burn function people execute is eating up the Pulsechain supply. And so I posted a couple of pictures of that, obviously with the price there and the price slippage in terms of what you can buy with $100 million a DAI versus Pulsechain at the moment. So yeah, 313 billion there. So there we go. And obviously the value is only 9.6 million, so it's not the way you do it. Now let's go through the next one there. It's got obviously the routing, the different paths that it will take to buy that Pulsechain, obviously going through V1 and V2 and via the stables as well there, I know. So pretty interesting. So a really interesting post. And of course, I've been saying Pulsechain is now undervalued. So we've been calling the right shots on the channel and in Strategy Club. So Hex was the one to go, and it went. And also now's a little hint about Pulsechain, which we said is undervalued relative to the others as well. So yeah, bring it on, bring it on. I always like these little tidbits from Richard Hart here. Little gold flavor magic dust, as it were. That's kind of the play. So looking pretty good there, and does need a bit of a breather, a bit of consolidation. But the next move is going to be pretty nice on the old Pulsechain there. And we're pretty sure that you know, a lot of this, even though mad gains have been made, a lot of the longer term holders have you know, there's been a lot of seller exhaustion. So I think we've got even a better class of longer term holders and moving into the bull market. So that's kind of played there on that one. So kind of cool. Let's jump over to Hex. Now Hex obviously is the one there, Hex in the bull market. Now Hex is coming up very nicely. I mean, look at that chart, beautiful. The consolidation here is gorgeous to look at. This is what we've been wanting, right? Rather than there's another sell-off wick. And of course, it's nice to have a consolidation period. We are very hot on the RSI on the daily. Look at that, 79. We're still up there, especially compared to Pulse and Pulsechain, right? So very hot there, but 1.347 cents. We've got a high recently of 1.562 cents. So really good stuff there. We know that the pre-SEC price, right, is a 2 cents. So let's quickly get to that. So 2 cents there. This is on the daily. And when we scroll that up there, we can find that the pre-SEC price back here is this candle here, and that is at 2 cents. So that's kind of the next juggernaut. You can see we've had resistance at 2 cents before. We have breached up there and got up to something like 2.6 or so. But this is kind of the next move there. Nice to see a bit of consolidation here before we move. But that's kind of it. And what's even more bullish in this chart? Can you see it? Well, we've got the 50-day, that yellow line, and the 200-day, the orange line. We're about to get a bullish cross on that. Look at that. It's coming very close. So it'd be nice to have a nice consolidation here and get that cross and up to the next level. And of course, we've got the court case at the end of October. We've got a month to do it. So was it 29 days or 31 days? So that would be pretty epic to go up to there. And of course, that would probably, you know, mute a lot of some of the market argument in the court case as well. And of course, remember, this red candle was actually caused by the SEC. It wasn't caused by Richard Hart or Pulsechain or Pulsechain and things. It was actually caused by the SEC. So that's something you can, you know, have them on about in the court case. And of course, now the market is repricing itself, and so operating really well as a functioning market. So that's another argument that you can have when you go to the court case there, which I think is pretty good. So that is it on Hex, looking very nice. Let's have a look at the 4-hourly. Just have a quick look view on that. So it's a 4-hourly there. Let's go back to the RSI. The RSI is pretty cooled off at 54. This chart is looking hot again, so we could very well go back to the top of the range, 1.5 cents there quite nicely. Who knows? Maybe we'll get there even earlier. I just don't want to front run it too much, but that is kind of the play there. And looking at the longer horizon there on the weekly, we're down at 65, so we've still got room to move there as well. So that supports the 4-hourly. Not bad. But the RSI is running hot on the daily. But like I say, either side, short and long, still room to move to another level. But it'd be nice to see some consolidation here a little bit more and get that cross and move up to 2 cents to 2.5 cents. That's kind of the next zone there on the chart. Not bad. All right, that is pretty much it on that. Let's go to the rest of the markets. Let's have a look at the Hex derivatives. At the moment, we've got Koza and Hetron from Alex McFerder. They're up 8% and 4% respectively. Then some of the Hex mining pools are not too bad as well. Lucky, the 3-year one is up, the 7-year one is up 3%, and Desi there, the 10-year one, up 1.6%. So not bad. happening there. Look at the stables. Now the speculative stables there have cooled off, have they? I think they have PDI down at 3,700 a penny, down 1.4 cents there. I do like PDI and the whole narrative around that. That is still ticking away. What else we got to say? Just looking through some of the stables, they're all pretty stable. The Sun Mini Meal one is supposed to be $1.60. It is only at 41 cents. So there's some work to be there. I don't believe we've had the $20 million over yet over the bridge. It was going to be a couple of weeks, so I don't know whether Hex Scout's got an update for that. But that is where we are at the moment on stables. Influencer coins at the moment, nothing is up today. In fact, SolidX, the one that we're actually looking out for with the new Crash game, maybe one of the two big games along with Mafia on Pulsechain. That is down 12.3% at the moment at $18.36. But remember, the all-time high for that in the first 10 days was $263. So I think there's a lot of big opportunity there. And of course, that Crash game is being created by TitanX founder Eric. So looking forward to that. Now, let's quickly go to Mafia before we get into the other stuff too. Mafia, I will be doing a Mafia show later on today. In how many hours? So 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours doing a Mafia show special. Don't want to miss that. It's in 7.5 hours. 6.5 hours, I should say. We'll be talking about Mafia and the updates in the Wikipedia wiki and where the game might be heading and moving next, and of course the market prices. So that's coming up soon. Let us go to the overall markets for Pulsechain before we wrap this topic up. And let's see where we are. So what's the volume today? 34 million. Woohoo! So I said between 25 and 45. We're doing very well there. I'm very happy with that. And we passed the ton chain earlier on, locked liquidity there. 270,000 transactions. Let's have a look at the best performer. Well, we've got LUSD for some reason is up at 4,459%. So I'm not sure what's happening there with that. What is going on there? That's really weird. No transactions. So that must be a bit of a dud. We'll just ignore that. Hachi is up 20%. I'm not sure another meme coin, is it? And I Am Fruits, another meme coin, no doubt, 12.4%. Up X, of course, on the top of liquid loans. That is up 12%. I think that's haunted related strategy, related to haunted personality in the community. Pico meme coin up 7.4%. What else there? 9mm, the DEX, right? Our second biggest DEX is up 6%. We got the free Palestine one, which is being freed by the Israeli Defense Forces. It is up 5.6% there. So there we got a little bit of green stuff going on at the moment. That is where we are on Pulsechain. So kind of cool. All right, that is it. We're going to get into TitanX next. The TitanX ecosystem roadmap, and of course the 369 payout. So that's our next topic. Who else is coming here? We got a couple more people. We've got Brian. Brian's in the house there, our community support leader. Big shout out to you, Brian. Hope you're liking the punching orange red that we've got today. Punching orange red with tribute to Hex price moving up. Hedgehog in the house as well. Woohoo! Good to see you, Hedgehog. And Craig Pitt. Morning all. Good to see you, Craig, as always. Craig Johnson says MVS. Craig Johnson indeed is in the house. All right, without further ado, let's pull up the next part of the show, section number 4, which is TitanX ecosystem and the roadmap. Now, you guys know it's exclusive to this channel. How about that? Exclusive. That sounds like something out of American TV ad or something, commercial. All right, so we've got the Pulsar has launched. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. It was a bit of a stealth launch. Not sure if it's aligned to enough with the principles of the TitanX ecosystem. Normally you'd promote the project, you'd have a big launch and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's got some other stuff in it, which I'm not a big fan of. It's from, is it from Gearheads and that? Yeah, just don't know. It's probably going to do fine and all that. But yeah, there it is at the moment. So we'll get into that in a minute. So Inferno is the second best performer there, up 20%. And of course, Helios there is up 10% as well. We're going to check out Helios because that could be pretty cool. JakeX at the moment is the meme coin, up 9%. Legend X is up 7.7%. So some good movers there. These are the ones we expected to move up, and they've moved up pretty well there. Dragon X, of course, had the big God mode candle yesterday, so we're going to talk about that. You don't want to miss that talk. Up 5.8% at the moment, so obviously that's some profit taking there. Baby Dragon X up 5%, and Janus on Pulsechain up 4.7%. So we're getting more connections with some of these projects with over the Pulsechain, like Pulsar and Janus. So there's really connectedness between Pulsechain and Ethereum with TitanX happening here. TitanX itself, the medium of exchange, is down just 1/3% at the moment. Hyper is down 3%. Hydra, of course, is down 3.3% there. Blaze is down 9%. Inferno is down 9% at the moment. And Vault, the latest project, this is the last project to launch apart from Pulsar. I guess you can decide. Pulsar was kind of the last one, and Vault before that is down 13% at the moment. So kind of cool. Those are the numbers there. Let's quickly look at the some of the highlights. Well, I'm going to have a look at quickly at the Pulsar chart. Obviously, Pulsar was a stealth launch. I'm not really liking. There's a 20% dev wallet in there, plus 8% Genesis. I'm not really liking that much, but which I'm not going to get into much. Had a big price rally. It's actually been around for a little bit longer, right? So stealth launch been around for a day and 7 hours on the chart. There's been a little bit of confusion about the website and linking things up, but nevertheless, you know, team's got some reputation. We'll see. At the moment, it's got 5 zeros, 5,573. So I'm not really going to talk about that at this stage. Maybe once we get even more information. We do have a lot of those stuff, diagrams, and everything else in our strategy club if you want to find out more. So we have got a full breakdown there, and if you want to check that out. Now we're going to go to Helios. Now Helios, we're kind of already liking this. Helios, of course, is going to benefit from Element 280, which is one of the 3 big DeFis coming up. We're going to talk about in a minute. And yeah, so that is up pretty nicely there. So have a look at the ratio. So the ratio game is what it's all about, right? Ratio to TitanX. And it's at 1.17, so not doing pretty well there. Keep a lookout for that, of course, with Element 280 coming. What else there? JakeX, the meme coin, doing pretty well, obviously. LegionX is another one that we want to look at. LegionX, not a lot of supply on the market, so it's something we want to look at as well. So yeah, look at that. Got sold down, actually, down to 1,040, which was actually looking like it was breaking out. See, it was rounding over, though. It was rounding over, so I had to make a decision. Decided to go down this time, but has been brought right back up to 1346. So how about that? There's some strength with some big volume coming in there, $25,000. So not bad there with the old volume. So 61K in volume. Looking forward to that, right? Looking forward to that. Recent news, of course, that DragonX NFTs were added on to it for the over-the-counter deals, and of course, looking pretty good scarcity-wise with the tokens there. So looking fun. All right, what else? Let's jump through some of this. We're going to go to TitanX itself. Oh, no, DragonX first. Let's go to DragonX and have a look at the God Mode candle. Do you want to look at that? That was pretty cool. We had the God Mode candle. Look at that. Can you see that? Let's go. That's a daily there. And we had massive volume coming in. $1.25 million. Now, if you'd seen it, there was about $300,000 that came in and just whipped that thing up. It was awesome. The market went crazy, as you know. So DragonX getting its own God Mode candles. That was pretty fun. Obviously routed through TitanX into DragonX, and it was pretty epic there. We've had 1.2 million volume. Amazing. Total market cap at the moment of DragonX is 79.2 million, and of course heading to 100 million, right? And what's a 10x from 100 million? It's $1 billion. So you look out for these numbers. You guys are still here relatively early. We're just prior to hyperdeflation in TitanX. So when hyperdeflation does occur, and it's coming up, may occur this month in October, very good chance that could happen even this month, is that no one will really know what it's going to do. It's going to be mind-blowing what it's going to do to the prices. And obviously, the community is growing all the time. So it's kind of neat. All you really have to do, get out there, is spread the word. I mean, that's how easy it is at the moment. And of course, really good at the beginning of the bull market. So kind of cool. Right, so that is where we are at the moment. Let's have a look at the hourly chart on this, just so you can show what you see the God Mode candle in its full beauty. And that is the God Mode candle there. Look at that. And of course, it occurred yesterday at 6 o'clock Kiwi time. So that was pretty cool. And how many hours ago was that? Well, it was 18 hours ago, apparently. Was it that far long ago? It doesn't seem like it. Anyway, so that is pretty awesome. And the price was pretty awesome. It got up to 1824, 1824. Started off at 1463. Let's have a look at the ratio of the TitanX, though. That was the real cool thing to see. And the ratio of DragonX got new all-time high. We're ignoring day one, right, which was 52. But really in market, matured market, got up to 27.32 ratio. Isn't that amazing? And is it a sign of things to come? Typically, if you're in a really good environment, you'll see the price actually start to move back up to where that God Mode candle was, right? If it's a crap coin, obviously it goes pumps and dumps, but we're in a really bullish environment. So yeah, that's a good loss leader for about the future. And yeah, we tried to get back, got back to 25, came back down to 23.6, now back over 24. So not too bad, looking pretty good there. So that is some of the big awesome stuff that happened in DragonX. Let's quickly go to TitanX. How did TitanX behave? Well, obviously TitanX there came back up. So we're going to talk about that because we're going to do the roadmap, right? Let's see what else we got here. Hyper and Hydra, they're ticking away, and I'll leave that there. And Vault, of course. So let's jump over to the actually a roadmap. So this is the roadmap moving forward. So at the moment, we've had this Pulsar launch, right? Stealth launch. And then we've got the next big one is going to be Awesome X coming up on the 4th of October. Now, I don't really like the 20% dev wallet in the Pulsar. Now, the chances are they're going to use it for something else, but it's still, you wish you knew what it was, right? It's kind of thing. It's even though it's part of the magic, I guess, but, you know, it's just the way it goes. Now, Awesome X has been getting a lot of promotion. That is launching on the 4th of October. I don't really like the launch pad in there, the allocation there, but hey, look, maybe if they've got 1 or 2 projects coming that will benefit from that. Apparently they've got that, then maybe that will be okay. But you know, not my favorite at this stage. We'll see. Keep them in mind, but I really don't like. You know, they really have to deliver on that launchpad side of it, because ultimately TitanX is the medium exchange. It's kind of the launchpad. Teams that get set up, they get a 8% reward up to. If they set that in the tokenomics, they get 8% of the whatever TitanX goes in there. Kind of like the self-funding anyway. So why have a launch pad as well? I'm not quite sure. Maybe to technically onboard people, maybe. So, you know, that's probably the one criticism. Everything else in it's probably okay in terms of tokenomics there on Awesome X. But that is coming up on the 4th, and it's getting a lot of press. So that might do well there. We shall see. Certainly going to help with the overall deflation in TitanX. Now, the next coming up of that is our big DeFis, right? Big DeFis are coming. TitanX farms, they're looking awesome. And we've obviously got Element 280 coming up on the 12th of October. That is a firm date. Titan Farms is an estimate, so I need to put a question mark here. Normally I put a question mark when I have an estimate of time. That's based on when we think the audits. That is in final audits. So we're getting very close to that Titan Farms. And I got that set up for the 8th. Element 280, which is going to be a really, really big and bullish for Helios as well, is the 12th. That's locked and loaded. Felix question mark. We had the only update was it was going to be in like a week or so. So we got that on the 8th as well. So we'll wait and see what happens to Felix there. And then Viper, I've moved Viper out into the 8th as well. Question mark. We don't know. We just know it's going to be in October. Don't know the date for that. That is a follow up from the Vault, right? So it's in the Vault team. That's like phase 2 really. And I believe that's going to be on Hyper, right? On top of Hyper. So we know, I think at least 2 projects going on Hyper, I think, is going to be Viper. And of course, the Mike Dean project, which is the Matrix, right? So it looks like there'll be 2 on Hyper. That's going to be bullish for the Hyper. And of course, there's nothing there at the moment. And of course, Ouroboros, the big lending protocol with stablecoin, that's coming up as well. Currently in testnet. I will be playing around with the testnet probably, but that is currently in testnet as well. So there we go, Ouroboros. They are mega. These 3 DeFis are mega for the TitanX ecosystem, especially as we got the last of the inflation, you know, the big inflation coming out, which is pretty cool. In fact, we've just in about 20 minutes, we're going to have the second to last trillion candle coming out for TitanX. Pretty amazing. Now we've got Lotus, of course, coming up on the 28th. It's going to be benefit Vault and TitanX, so it's going to be pretty cool. Vault, and then of course we got the big payout there, 369 on the 30th of October, and of course that's going to be was it $6 to $7 million minimum at this current price of Ethereum. So it's going to be pretty awesome. Not minimum, but it's going to be around that mark. It could be 50% higher by that time. So it could be $10 million. We shall see what happens by the 30th of October there. Then of course in November we've got Titan Games, and a good chance we could have X28. X28 is going to be omni-chain. So obviously we're going to dominate Ethereum and then go omni-chain, and of course burn all the TitanX that goes in it. Going to be pretty epic. So good stuff coming up there, and of course we're going to have many other projects coming in. You can just see some of the list here at the moment in the red box. They will move on to they're on the bench. They will move on to the player field here as well as we get more information. So there's going to be there's a lot more projects than the ones in the red box there, but we shall see where that all comes. And the Shadow Protocol from Jake Sharp as well. That we'll probably find some more information about that as well at some stage in the future. So that's kind of the roadmap at the moment. Let's jump over to, let's hide that at the moment. Let's just go to the TitanX chart. We can see that we're currently at 6,100. We're kind of consolidated around here, right? Pretty cool. I know some people wanted to come down further, but we're actually consolidating pretty nicely on the old TitanX chart. Now, one thing I want to talk about was, that Felix has a new white paper out. So I think you can hit the white paper that will be coming up. So you can go, I think they've just updated this, so you can check out the details on Felix. We're waiting for a launch date for that. So that is, we've got it in October, but waiting for confirmation there. Now this has been tidied up a little bit, right? So we've got Awesome X, Shogun. This is on Mike Dean's TitanX hub. ORX is going to be absolutely amazing, guys. ORX is going to be amazing. We've got Blaze Wars NFTs. We've got Titan Farms. Titan Farms, of course, is going to be juggernaut, especially for DragonX and TitanX and things, and potentially Hydra. And so yeah, it's looking good there. Titan Guardians, of course, Element 280, another obviously big deal there, especially for Helios as well. But for TitanX and everything, it's going to benefit everything, right? So it's really cool. And then Felix, we've got obviously updating the white paper there. You can check that out. And the Matrix, of course, from Mike Dean himself. Pretty exciting. Those are the ones on the list. Now, I noticed that Pulsar has not been added to the top list here. So obviously Mike Dean doing some checks on that as well. So really, I'm not going to talk too much about Pulsar until we get a bit more, acceptance about that. Maybe, I don't know. We certainly, looked at it in the Discord there. All right, so that is kind of the play on the TitanX hub. Now, obviously, looking at future supply, you guys know we have moved into October. We've only got 2 more one-day trillion candles left. It is pretty exciting to see. Let's scroll down and see where we are at the moment. So this has been updated 2 hours ago. We can see, what did we get out today? We got out 328 billion. We were only expecting 375 billion today. It was a very low day. It's just finishing in about half an hour. We only got 328 so far. So there will be a little bit of wash up in the following day. But we know that the next day is going to be a big day. So it's the second to last. Yeah, let's go down 30. Let's go down 90-day chart, because that is the kind of the gives you the full. This is the full inflation left to come out of TitanX. So we've coming off this low day, 371, and we've only had about 328 or something. And here we are. It's 2 hours old, so we'll probably get pretty close to 371, maybe 350 or something. Then we've got this day coming out. This is the one we're about to start in half an hour. The second to last trillion candle. Can you believe it? It's got 1,070 billion. That is coming out over the next 24 hours. And then we're going to drop down to 473 the next day on the 3rd. Then we're going to jump back up to 796, which is one of the other larger candles. And then finally we get to the 5th, which is in 4 days' time, the 5th of October, the very last trillion candle. That is a big deal. That is a big deal because we've got all these protocols operating at the moment: Hydra, Vault, and Flux, that are eating up TitanX off the market. So we get down to $500 billion days after that, man, it's going to be eating through. We're going to be going down deflationary. It's going to be crazy. We're pretty close to that at the moment with these trillions, right? Especially with Hydra picking up the pace. So yeah, sort of Vault's been doing pretty well. Flux has gone down in terms of the amount it has, but Hydra's been really ramping up. So this is looking really cool. We're going to get a hockey stick on the old Hydra. It will taper off obviously as over time, but looking really good. So yeah, we're in the last of the trillion candles, and by the time we get into the 18th of October, the last of the $500 billion candles, the 500 billion candles, will be gone as well, which is only not that far later. It's only 15 days later, 13 days later, I should say, 13 days later after we get rid of our trillion candle. 2 weeks later, we've got rid of the 500. Pretty exciting, and game on, right? Game on. So yeah, it's absolutely incredible. We've got obviously Awesome X launching and all the other protocols launching in this time frame. When these candles come out, so we could have might have $500 billion, but we're actually getting rid of 2 trillion a day, right? So this is what we're talking about, moving to hyperinflation. What will that mean? Nobody's really ready for what that will mean, but it's going to be crazily good. It's crazily good. People obviously getting out there and say, there's not going to be enough TitanX, and of course you don't have enough TitanX. There's sort of phrases being thrown around, which are pretty fun. Now let's jump over to some of the stuff here from Jake Sharp over the last 24 hours. We can see that he's been posting out from Eric here. The Hydra buy and burn is bigger than ever, and it's been going up as well. There's over 12 trillion last time I checked in the Hydra, which is an incredible amount of value there. Yeah, you can see here over 10 trillion just in the DragonX, buy DragonX with TitanX, and it's over $7 million. It's pretty amazing. Kind of cool. So we got some stuff coming out from Jake out today. Just going through some of these. Let's see here. Is the market red today? Because Pulsechain looks pretty. Sorry, TitanX looks pretty green. What else? TitanX system. I never worry about the drop because I have different mining operations. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Let's just come through some of these. So kind of cool stuff coming here. Yeah, I'm just going to scroll up, trying to find some of the more interesting stuff. 4 hours ago, this is from Jake Sharp. Adoption isn't slowing down for TitanX. Leading indicators, and of course there we are, 16,084 holders of TitanX. So still relatively early, but a pretty decent sized community now, and you can see the uptrend in the chart there. Look at that. See on the right hand side, it's going up. So we had a big move early on, slowly we're grinding up, and now really starting to take off there on the right hand side. So really things getting in the right direction, and at the beginning of what we call the real bull market in October as we say. Kind of cool. Hydra, of course, is delivering incredible yields. 1100% around there at the moment. So people have really been loving that, and it's driving a lot more TitanX into the system, eating that up. So hyperdeflation coming soon, no doubt. Kind of cool. Now the other cool thing is Crypto Audio Kings posted this. How we have in Hex, we have whales and dolphins and things like that. Well, here on the TitanX, it's got it here. So a whale, obviously 1% of the supply, and looks like there's 12 whales with 1% of the supply. So that's about 1 trillion in TitanX. There are sharks. There's 110 sharks with 100 billion tokens. So if you're one of those, congratulations. And of course, they're worth $600,000 and $60,000 respectively at the value. And of course, we're about to go to hyperinflation, so who knows where this would go. There's 756 dolphins with 10 billion. So if you've got 10 billion, it's a very strong position to be a dolphin, and 10 billion, and that's $6,300. Squids, which are normally a very, very good kind of the middle class in the holdings, that is 2,760. So there's lots of squids, and that's currently $600. So very good entry there. A lot of people can enter at $600, so you can become a squid quite easily. Turtles, 3,700, obviously $62, and then smaller ones here, crabs, shrimps, and shells after that. So kind of cool. Still early, looking pretty good there. It's going to be interesting to see the shift around as liquid TitanX evaporates as we enter hyperdeflationary. So really good commentary there on the leagues of TitanX. So things are going to change a lot in the next couple of months, particularly this month, I would say, in November, of course. Kind of cool. So some good stuff there from Jake Sharp around that. That's going to lead us into the our last topic, which is going to be, you guessed it, going to be XenCat and XenCat. Before we do that, though, let's catch up and see who else has jumped in. We got Hexvader. Hey, Hexvader, hope you're doing well. What else there? That's it. Just one comment. That was pretty easy to get through. Now, we're 47 minutes on the hour, so we're going to get into our last topic, which is obviously XenChat is coming. This is from, we've talked about Jake Sharp. We've talked about Richard Hart, obviously Pulsechain and TitanX. But we've obviously got XenChat from Jack Levin. And, of course, he is, it's technically ready, the XenChat, technically ready. They're obviously working on the tokenomics and getting validator incentives on board, things like that. That's kind of where they are at the moment. They're very coy on giving a launch date. That's been something they've been doing. They've got to obviously do the allocation. They've got to do the tokenomics, and they've also got to do the validators, getting the validator up for the XenChat. But it's going to be chock full of technology. Do not shy on X1. It's going to be full. It's going to be the first fork of Solana. It's going to be upgraded version of Solana, and of course, full DeFi. It's going to have AI technology consensus in it. It's going to have so much stuff, IGN layer staking, where you can take tokens from other chains and stake them in XN coin. It's going to have multiple stakings with Xenium and XUnis with its own DEX and wallet and things like that. It's going to be a really crazy cool chain, and super fast, right? Super fast, going 100,000 transactions per second as we understand it. So if they can get anything near that, that's going to be pretty amazing. So looking for that. Obviously, they've got Zen on 13 chains, so that's also going to be, come into the allocation and tokenomics ultimately. So looking forward to that. But in any case, the number one meme coin is XenCat, and of course, it is fixed supply of 1 billion. So let's get into that. As you guys know, I've been talking about this the last couple of days. It is a startup, right? So it's the early opportunity to get in. It only has 1 billion, and Jack Levin has been promoting it as well as XenCat, the official account for it. So XenCat is looking pretty good. You can see the chart at the moment. This is on Solana. So remember, we've gone from Pulsechain to Ethereum to Solana now. And these are just some of the things that we talk about in strategy clubs. If you haven't joined up to that, the link's in the description. Only $30 a month for that. Very good value. And of course, 0003 is where the price is at the moment. You can see it's moving on the up. Remember, there's only 1 billion of these coins. And the other thing is you can get a whale position now quite easily. So you can get a shark position or a dolphin position quite easily at the moment. Any position, honestly, will be great. You're getting nice and early. Now, when I saw this, the liquidity was about mid-30s or something like that, maybe high 30s. And the liquidity, it's now up at 66 and has been up over 70 over the last 24 hours. So liquidity is getting bigger. It is a retail play, but it's a retail play that could really accelerate in value when X1 chain comes, right? So X1 is a big driver catalyst. The fact it's only got 1 billion tokens is a driver catalyst. Also, the fact that Jack Levin, the founder of X1 and of course of Zen, is also promoting it. It's pretty huge. And of course, he has a massive audience of 400,000, I think, on X, something like that. And then, of course, it's also got recently news is that it's going to have Solana to ZenCat mining. In other words, people will be able to do mining and mine Solana, and that will swap over ZenCat and buy up a limited supply. Remember, there's only 1 billion, so that's a huge pump. Man, you can already see the market start to move on some of this news. It's starting to anticipate, and it's still early days. So we're at 0003 at the moment, so it's doing pretty well, and we're liking it. So we got to have a look at one of the posts here. This is from Jake Sharp, himself. And of course, he posted this out over the last 24 hours. He's been posting more and more about ZenCat, which is pretty cool. He's got a little bit of the cat. And so let's have a look at the cat box. See the cat box? That is the ZenCat. Let's have a look at this video. It's pretty funny. So there we go. You gotta laugh at that, right? So that's pretty funny. There we go. So realistic, even moves. So you got the cat in the box, but it's real. It's a real cat. How about that? That is ZenCat. So it's a real cat of Jack Levin's there, looking pretty cool. And it is, as ZenCat says, proof that cats rule the world. Even the dog knows who's in charge, and it's got ZenCat there on top. So I think that's pretty awesome. So obviously, if you want to check out ZenCat, you can check it out. I'll post the links there as well. Get in nice and early on this one. Pretty cool. And you can get yourself a big position as it keeps growing. Like I said, liquidity is pretty much 2x in liquidity, and it's still very early on this one. There have been a number of accounts that have been starting to pick up larger positions as well. You can see these whales, these green buys with the market going up. So people are entering and getting positions in the chart. So it's kind of cool to see that. Now you can buy on the Jupe Dex, or you can buy on Radium. I prefer Radium myself, but yeah, pretty cool. That is on site. All you need is Solana wallet, maybe a Phantom wallet, or just anything with Solana, and you can buy it with that. So check it out. That is looking good. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is pretty much our content today. I would say that give ZenCat a follow as well, because ZenCat's been doing a great job promoting that. So definitely give them a follow. Let them know that Superman Crypto sent you there. There we go. There's the cat, Superman Crypto. Let them know that I sent you there and that you're following them now. Get in there, folks, and you can do your financial due diligence, but consider picking up some ZenCat today, nice and early for X1 launch. You know what meme coins do? The number one meme coin on an X1 chain, the latest tech, probably going to be absolutely amazing for the bull market. You don't shy on that one. I think it's going to be really cool. Once again, we can't predict exactly the future. We're just playing probability. We can't predict the timing of X1. But certainly it's going to have mining coming to it as well. Mining a fixed token, man. Based on that, it's going to be pretty awesome. MBS says great stream. Super John. You're supposed to call me Superman Johnson. Is that super? That's a hybrid between the two. Very creative, the MB. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. 53 minutes on the day. We did pretty well today. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I will be doing Mafia in about 6 hours. We're doing a whole Mafia show on Mafia game, the number one DeFi game, GameFi, I should say, in the world. It's going to be on Pulsechain and playing on BNB as well. Over $400,000 in the vault now. That's just going to continue to climb. You watch. It's going to be a mega game. Not only is the prize mega, but it's going to have the first metaverse coming to Pulsechain, and of course, probably the first proper one going to BNB, if you ask me. And then also, it's going to be a chance to build up the asset base, just like the big property moguls like Donald Trump, who built up property around the world in the United States and elsewhere. You're going to be able to build up property empires in that metaverse. So You can make a lot of money, and you can also create asset value too. Finally sold the roulette, says MVS. Oh, so congratulations to you on that one. Big shout out. Yeah, you can buy and sell assets, including businesses like roulettes and the Mafia. Pretty awesome. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. Take care. I'll catch you again later on today in about 6 hours' time for the Mafia show. If you're in the directorate family, a big shout out to you. So if you're in the four, directorate is the Allegiance, the Yakuza, the Illuminati, and of course the Hustlers, as well as the Syndicate. If you're in those four families, big shout out to you. And from the consigliere of those families, we do appreciate all that you guys are doing for those families to make us strong. And we're going to play it pretty well. Hear more about that in the show later today. All right, I better go. Bye for now. I mean, I'm going now, really. Oh, XenCat is going, so yeah, too. All right, bye for now. All right, take care.